Hello, hello, hello. Yay. I'm so pleased. There's people logging on and there's some faces I haven't seen for a while and there's some faces I have seen. It's all awesome. Cool. So we want to get right started because it is on the dot. It's on time. So we want to get moving and grooving. So welcome, everybody. This is such an amazing webinar that we're going to be doing. And I feel very honored that I'm going to be doing it with Marlene, because I think this is such a valid topic to be talking about. So much of it has gone on in the world today, and I'm quite sure that all of us in some way have been either touched by cancer or know somebody with cancer. And so I think this is going to be such a beautiful, informative webinar that we just want to give additional support, additional info to people that are actually moving through it, or who have survived and they're now turning around and they're going, now what? Now what happens to my life? So for those that don't know me, I'm Kerry. I'm a master health coach. I'm a natural health practitioner, originally from South Africa, based here in Auckland, New Zealand. And I am going to allow Marlene to introduce herself. So go for it, Marlene.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this wonderful webinar. Thank you so much, Kerry. I really appreciate this collaboration with you. I think we can help so many people, so I'm so excited about it. So I'm Marlene Pretorius, for those who don't know me, and I'm a triple positive breast cancer survivor. If you don't know what triple positive means, it is we have the HER2 positive gene and not the HER2 negative mutation. And then it's also driven by estrogen and progesterone. So it's hormone-driven cancer. And I got diagnosed in 2018 at the age of 40. My mom got diagnosed at the age of 47. So we've been around cancer for quite a few years. Mom's is back a fourth time as it metastasized to her bones, but she's fighting fit and brave and doing her thing, always look up to her. So yeah, my whole journey started with, we didn't even find the cancer on ultrasound or mammogram, which was quite scary. We did find a mass on the right side and it was benign, but it grew in a year's time from 5 millimeters to 2 centimeters in that year. So I wasn't too happy about that. That's obviously, a warning and a flag to have it checked out, because the estrogen made it grow. So I headed up to Prof. Ben in Johannesburg, and we did a breast MRI, and that's where we actually found the cancer on the left side, lodged between the ribs. So it was quite a scary time of my life, I have to tell you that. And I think, you always have this preconceived idea of, if it happens to you, how will you react, and how are you going to deal with it? But goodness gracious, I did not know what journey was lying ahead. You think, oh, you're going to do chemo and it's going to be fine, or you're going to do radiation and it's fine. And I did not even do chemo or radiation, and this is now my 6th year on hormone blockers, which almost it acts like a very light chemo tablet. So it's got a lot of side effects, but it blocks the estrogen and the progesterone that obviously feeds this cancer. But with that comes a lot of side effects. And I had 7 surgeries in 3 years. So me thinking that, I'm going to have a double mastectomy and I'm done, it just didn't work out that way, because I had my double mastectomy and reconstructive surgery on the 1st of December in 2018. That February, my skin didn't want to heal, so I had to have a second surgery. We then had to explant the implants as 2 months later, when I could finally actually lift my arms and wash my hair, I bent forward and my implant flipped. And I've never seen anything like it in my life, because it was the first time ever that I actually had implants in my body. And it flipped, and that was on the right side, and the left side was breaking through the inframammary fold at the time. So I wasn't even aware of all these things. You focus on your well-being and the emotional state and the people around you, and you're just thinking it's fine. I went for the surgery and off I go. Luckily, we found the cancer very early. So I didn't have to, if I didn't do mastectomy, I had to do chemotherapy or radiation, but we caught it early. We then decided to explant, and we tried the Goldilocks option, where they take this little roll here just underneath your breast and they pull it up and they sort of create a chest wall for you, which worked out fine for a little bit. And then I started getting cysts. So one cyst after the other, had to do aspirations one after the other. And it's so painful to actually go in every time, have a needle stuck into you. It's so invasive. It's the same with the biopsies. It's so invasive. And I think I just got to this stage where I could see my family, the way they battled, the way I battled emotionally, mentally. And I decided to just go for a flat aesthetic closure and have everything removed and focus on healing instead of the aesthetic, pleasing look, trying to get it back. Because it's such a hard thing, this reconstructive surgery. You think that it's so simple. And for some people it works, and other people it doesn't. My body didn't want it. I realize that now. I didn't realize it at the time. And the emotional journey that you have to go through to actually get to the point where you say, just take it, that in itself takes so much out of you, and no one really understands that. They're never going to, if they haven't been through it. They're never going to understand that. And people will say to you, it's breasts, Marlene. People lose their feet or their hands or their legs but it's still a part of you that goes, and you still need that support, to get through it. With me, I think if Kerry did not reach out to me, I don't really know how I would have gone through this journey. It would have been a whole different picture, of me finding myself again, because you lose yourself throughout this journey. You lose your confidence. You lose, touch with your loved ones, because it's a very difficult thing to look your husband in the eye and say to him, listen, yeah, this is what we're going to do now. We are going to now get rid of parts of me that makes me a woman. It's a difficult thing. And to reconnect almost on a different level then, because you need to tune into yourself, and accept yourself. It takes time to do that. But I think with the right support and the right community, you can do it. You can definitely do it. There are bad days, really bad days, and then there's really good days, I was on the tamoxifen for 5 years, which is the one hormone inhibitor. It had horrific side effects. I mean, I really only started growing my hair now. That's why it's all poofy on the top. So, because even though I didn't go through chemo, the tamoxifen still thins your hair, and it still actually makes you lose hair, whether you like it or not. And it also affects your skin. So I got psoriasis and all sorts. But once I started changing my diet and actually started, feeding my body with more healthy nutritional food, I realized that you can actually combat some of the symptoms, maybe not all, but you can try.
So, Marlene,
So
I know you've got so much to talk about, and we've got so much to cover. But what I'd really like to get to is, how, when you first got that diagnosis, how did you feel? Like, you said scary, but I'm quite sure there was like hundreds of emotions. Like, what is it like when how did you feel?
I have to tell you that it was almost like your world collapses. If someone says you have cancer, and it took like I don't know, it felt like forever for me to actually react and go, oh, okay, because I was diagnosed over the phone as well, which is a whole different story. Because Prof Ben is in Joburg, we are in, on the Lowveld, so that's a 3.5-hour drive. Yeah, so we were back and forth, going to see her. And when she phoned me that evening, I mean, she's a specialist, and she said she's getting back to me on the Sunday. And I was like, yo, whatever. What specialist works on a Sunday? But she actually did. She's brilliant. And she phoned me at 8:30 in the evening on a Sunday. And she was like, Marlene, okay, so I just want you to breathe, but I do have your results. And yes, you do have cancer. And I remember sitting thinking, Nikita, that was the first thing that came to you know. I mean, my daughter was 11 at the time. She was awake in bed waiting for the results. I mean, this impacts the entire family. And I said, okay. And she said, but don't worry, we're going to work on a plan. I'll send you some readings. And I remember her talking, but not, I was looking at Johan like on the phone, and he's like, oh, what's going on? And I can't even say anything to him because I don't want to verbalize it, because I don't want Nikita to hear, and you like instantly you feel 100 years older. You feel sick, even though you're not sick, this is in your body and it needs to go. But there were no other side effects before. So why on earth am I feeling tired and this, and like, so it was such a, yeah, it was actually bizarre. And when I put the phone down, I remember Nikita calling out to me, and she was like, Mom, what did she say? And I said, everything's fine, babe, because she was still writing exams until the Wednesday. So I thought, I'm only going to tell her, after her exams. And she went, oh, okay. Are you sure? And I said, yes, everything's fine. And then she went to bed. And then I sat and I looked at Johan, and he was like, you've got cancer. And I said, yes. And he was like, okay, what do we do? And I said, we do what we need to do. I have no idea what, but that's what we're going to do. So it paralyzes you. That's what it does. Well, it did to me.
Yeah. And this is exactly, what I think people don't understand, that because there is so much around cancer, and there's obviously cancer can hit anywhere in your body, and cancer can hit anybody, that, and we know so many people that have suffered, so to get that diagnosis, and for you to then go, okay, so then, what's my journey? So what was your thinking process, and what was that next week like for you? Did you immediately have a plan in place, or did you just go numb? What was that week like?
I think initially you numb with the sound of you've got cancer. But because my mom had a single mastectomy, I've been, with her through her journey. I immediately thought double mastectomy. That was my thing, was get it out. That's just get rid of it. Okay. It needs to go. But the next day, I mean, I was diagnosed on Sunday. The next day, Prof. Ben sent me this like reading to read, and she compares it to Alice in Wonderland. You get diagnosed and you fall down the rabbit hole and flip. That was exactly what it was like. You have no idea what's happening. And then, are you going to eat me and grow big and fight the Jabberwocky that's now obviously cancer? Or are you going to eat me and shrink and shrivel and die in the corner? That type of thing. And when I read that, I was like, this is actually brilliant. It's brilliant. I can give it to my daughter to read to make her understand. But it was one thing after the next. It was literally, there's all this info being sent to you, like mastectomy, lumpectomy, treatment plans, and you have no idea what to do, because by that Friday, I was in radiology, them planting that little magnet into the tumor when they then obviously do the surgery the next day. It literally, it was like a roller coaster. I told Nikita on the Wednesday, it was super emotional. She's always been around cancer, I worked for the Cancer Association years ago. She's always been exposed to it. She's always been around it with my mom and cousins, and so she knows all about it. So it was very, very emotional. And on that Friday, I must say the medical team, they were amazing, because she called them in and said, you need to meet everyone. So she made Nikita and Johan meet the surgeon, meet the oncologist, to set them a little bit at ease. But yeah, by this Saturday that I got there to do the double mastectomy, I was still not sure, am I doing the right thing? Although here I am, I'm booked. She said to me, you can change your mind at any time. But I was so scared that this was going to spread. I also didn't know if it spread. So that's the other thing. You know, and you get told you're going in for double mastectomy, double reconstructive surgery, but when you come out and you don't have implants, you know that it's spread. So I was still hot, like coming out of anesthesia, and your hand said, I just went like touching my chest because it's so emotional. It was like in the back of my mind, you know, what's happening to me, even though I wasn't even fully conscious again.
Yeah.
So it's bizarre.
Yeah, it's actually huge because, you know, when you get a diagnosis like this, and there's obviously all other diagnoses besides cancer, but when you get something like this, because we know and we've heard so much about it and we've been so exposed to it, your whole mortality, I think, is like, wow, you know, this is my life, and and you know, have I lived my life to the fullest? You know, have I done everything that I've wanted to do? Have I put everything in place that I needed to put in place? There's just so much to think about. But you mentioned obviously you did the whole medical side of things, and then I know your journey because you did the whole nutritional and mindset side of things. So how did you feel with being able to reach out and do a combination of both? How did that work for you?
I think I remember when you asked me, you know, or approached me and asked me if I wanted to try this, let's see how this works. And I was a bit skeptical at first. I mean, we human beings, so we know, you know, the doctors are like, you need to do this, you have to do this, you need to take this, and you sit with all of this like medication at home. And I remember I think the first 6 months with all the different surgeries and everything that went wrong. I was at one stage, I was on 3,000 milligrams of antibiotics. That was probably for 2 months. I mean, it was shocking. I was swollen. I carried too much water. I was tired. I felt disgusting. I looked disgusting. I mean, the cancer didn't even have anything to do with that. It was a medication, you know, and I didn't realize it at the time because they're telling you to take it, and that's what you do because it's going to heal you. It's going to fix it. It didn't fix anything. I actually felt worse, to be quite honest. Um, and yes, I am on my oncology plan, you know, taking the Stradexa now. Luckily, we switched from the horrible tamoxifen. So taking the Stradexa daily, it doesn't have so many side effects. But I've learned, you know, by joining this program with you, that I immediately started feeling better. I remember I think I did a 13-week or something that we started. And I think by like week 4, I didn't feel so. I remember sitting on the couch saying to Jan, I don't think my cheeks are so, you know, and he was looking at me and he goes, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. I feel different. Like I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so heavy. I feel like I've lost a bit of the water. You know, I didn't even think about weight at the time. And I slept better. I started sleeping better. So with all the medication, everything's got a side effect. You know, you feel nauseous. If you eat this, that happens, that type of thing. So you immediately actually feel a change because it's all healthy. You know, that's what you're doing. You're actually just helping your body. And when you first get diagnosed, you don't think about that. All you think about is give me what I need so that I can fix this, you know, and you're not sure what's going to heal it anyway, but you just take it. So I think it's a very good balance if you can find that balance.
And if you had to reflect back, do you think there were things before your diagnosis that, you know, really weren't working for you health-wise?
Oh, yes. So, I mean, I know that, you know, cancer obviously is in our family. So I get that. But if I have to think back of the way that I used to eat, I mean, I would rather have pudding than have a meal if we go out to dinner. That was my reality. I remember that. I was an absolute chocoholic, you know. I lived on sugar. I lived on coffee because I have pernicious anemia, which we also diagnosed, you know, very late. We didn't realize. And I kept myself awake with 10 cups of coffee a day with 3 sugars in it. I mean, hello, that's seriously like a recipe for disaster. But you know, you don't think about that at the time. You just think, oh no, I'm going. And then the day the dietitian says, okay, please just take this out of your diet and let's just see what happens. You're waking up, you're not allowed to have coffee, and you're packing sandwiches with your eyes closed because your body doesn't have B12 or iron. It's not supposed to function. So I know that my diet and my lifestyle, I've always been someone that moved, did some exercise. I love my water, but the way I ate was completely different to my lifestyle now. Completely different.
Yeah. So I think we all are so aware, because we've been told this 100 times, that sugar, refined sugar, is absolutely deadly for us. It is a poison for us. It does make an impact when we have cancer. It does feed the cancer cells. Like, we know that. But how hard is it to actually get off it when we're surrounded by it? We're surrounded by sugar all the time. So, yeah, how difficult was it for you to change from a chocoholic eating pudding, when you go out, to not having that?
Yeah, so I've tried millions of diets before in my life, if I have to call it a diet or a new lifestyle. And this was just, I think, because it taps into your emotional, your mental, your spiritual. And I don't think, if I try and explain it to people, it's very difficult to explain because I don't think anyone's ever done that type of thing. If you haven't done the Thrive with Vitality program, to feel like the first 2 weeks they tell you that you must still eat what you want, but you look at this stuff and you're thinking, I don't think I should. I know they said I can, but I don't know if I should. So I think it's a mindset. And when we got to, removing our sugar, I was like, oh my word, how am I going to do this? This has been my life for what, 40 years, because I only got diagnosed at the age of 40. I was probably lucky because of all the sugar that I ate. I probably could have been diagnosed in my 20s already because I had such a horrible diet. But it was tough. But looking back, I'm much happier. And now that I don't eat it, if I do, you're yeah, I get symptoms right away to say to me, nice, did you have that? Did you enjoy that? Was it really worth it? So, yeah, I'm very happy that I've changed that part of my life.
When you were going through, like, you were having the operations and things like that, how difficult was it to actually have a good healthy eating plan with a good mindset, like a good positive mindset? Like, when did that mindset shift for you? Or was there always little worry about your future?
Yeah, I think it's especially I didn't expect to go through 7 surgeries in 3 years, Um, so every time something went pear-shaped, I was like, because you just start to feel a little bit better, and then bang, something happens. Off you go again, it's anesthesia again, or you actually feel so defeated all the time because it feels like you're taking 10 steps back all the time. And to try and stay positive through that it's a massive thing. I prayed a lot. I remember actually getting to a point when I think it was around surgery 4, where I just one night just collapsed and cried and cried. And I said, Jan, I feel like I can't pray. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, I can't pray. It's like God's not there. And to me, it's such a tough thing to say. And he just burst out in tears. And he was like, no, 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 come sit. We're going to pray for you. And he was like, Marlene, God is still there. You are so consumed with what's happening. You're so caught up in this, like turmoil that's hit your life. You don't know what to do. You're trying to accept the new body that's not even the new body. That's not even you're like in between the whole time. It was very, very tough. But if I think I started our program when it was month 3. Yeah, about month 3 after my diagnosis. And the weekly calls that I got onto, and I think if you remember, there were calls where I wasn't so, I'm normally positive, but calls that I wasn't so positive, and it just helps to sit there and it's a safe space and you can share and people help you through it because you can't do this alone. And I find a lot of other people that go through cancer or, get the diagnosis, they like crawl into their shell and they don't want, but you need people, you need support. You
Yeah.
can't get through it alone. So it's difficult to try and do that on your own and do that mind shift. You constantly need that feeding of, it's going to be okay. You're going to
Yeah.
be okay, just that reminder.
Yeah.
And I think it's the people around me played a massive role in that.
Did the specialists and the medical doctors, did they ever you know give you any options of counseling, mindset, nutrition? So what options did they give you?
They actually they didn't, to be quite honest. Um, no, that to be quite honest, I started with my oncologist there because everything happened in Joburg, all my surgeries, and then my oncologist is here local in the Lowveld. And I remember I sat in front of her and initially she said to me, or she asked me, what do I weigh? And I, oh man. And I told her what I weighed and she went, so did you weigh that in matric? And I was like, hell no, I wish I did, but no, I know. And she said, okay, so with every 10 kilograms that you've picked up, you increase your risk with having cancer. So you really need to lose weight. But that's all she told me. I remember leaving there devastated. That was my first oncology appointment. I'm still with her. I mean, she's helped me and but it was just the whole, like, explain to me, point me in the right direction. I am a mess and I'm in pieces. Help me and say to me, okay, Marlene, obviously your weight is a problem because you do have estrogen driven cancer. And we know that fat has estrogen in it. So let's try and get rid of it. But she never said it like that, or gave me any guideline. So I came home devastated in tears and I'm like, oh my, I'm doomed. My life, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die fat. I'm gonna die. Like I remember Johan looking at me going, "What are you talking about?" Because I was just like, And he says to me, "No, no, no, calm down. We're gonna have to find a way. Okay, if that's the case, then we have to find a way." So I feel like they definitely need a different type of approach. It's all about here's your tablet, off you go, but move, go walk, get some fresh air, try and have some greens, and I did not get that. I don't know if other people do, but I personally, that did not happen for me.
Yeah. And I think it's when I listen to you, and I've journeyed with you over the last 5 years, but when I listen to you, I just feel your success has been because there's been a combination. There's
Yeah.
been a combination of the medical, which I think is so important when you are given a life-threatening, diagnosis, and a combination of good, healthy, natural living. Because I'm a belief, like, we've got a natural body here. We got to put natural things into this natural body so this body can actually get moving on, and heal from a deep level. So Marlene, how did you feel about having a combination of the medical plus nutrition and mindset guidance?
No, I think that helped a lot. It definitely enhanced my quality of life, even though I was on the treatment, or still on the treatment, because like I said, with the tamoxifen, I can confidently speak about the tamoxifen because I did do my full 5 years. I know a lot of women leave the tablets in 2 years or a year or a few months. The side effects are horrific. You're nauseous, you've got hot flashes. I mean, you're already put into menopause because of the cancer, removing ovaries, etc. So it just enhances all of that. You don't sleep well, or actually not well, you don't sleep at all. It's like your mind just doesn't switch off. I have no idea what they put in their tablets. You've got bone pain and all sorts of things. My hair was falling out and thinning. I had skin problems. There was just so much. And once I started really focusing on eating healthy, with all the water, getting the movement, being outside, all of that, and the community helping me, it was easy to transition into a more positive mindset because I could sleep. I mean, in the beginning, I used to drink cannabis, remember? I had to take cannabis to sleep at night because I couldn't sleep at all. They used to tell me to take the tablet in the morning rather, because in the evening, if you take it in the evening, you don't sleep. I was like, well, it doesn't matter when I take it. I just don't sleep. Okay. I had to take all these drops and be on a high because that's how I felt. Literally taking it and then falling into bed. So I just feel like once you find that balance and your body's almost clean, because you have a clean body then. I didn't eat refined sugar. I didn't, in anything I started with would give me a symptom to say, oh, blocked nose from cheese. Oh, this from that, which I never realized. I just thought, oh, well, I've got sinus, that type of thing. But you sort of, you start, it gives you, it talks to you. And that changed everything, because you almost take control. That's what you do. I'm taking my tablet, thank you very much, but I don't need to take 500 tablets because I'm nauseous and this and that. I can try and fix that with something else besides a tablet. And I think that's what made me realize, going deeper into this, that I have some control. Cancer is not going to control me, and the doctors won't control me. And I made that decision. And I think once you've made that decision, then
And
it's
how
so
long did
powerful.
it take you? How long did it take you to make that decision? At what point was your turning point to say, I've got this?
I think when I moved through the program the first time, I could feel that I've definitely taken charge of my life, because I've never felt better, even though I was still on the medication. I mean, that was like, what was it, a year and a half in, because I've been living WildFit now for the last how many years, started with the Thrive with Vitality program. So for me, I think it was a year in, and I did fall off the wagon. I mean, in between, if I want to call it that, falling off the wagon, because with every surgery, there's new emotions, new mental state of mind, new fighting your own demons type of thing. And then I just get back onto the wagon again and off I go, and then I start feeling better again. I'm like, it's so simple. Why did you leave? Just carry on. Do what you need to. It's a way of life. And you know that you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
But it takes a few times, obviously. And I think I went well. And then with my last surgery, when we had to make the decision of removing my breast completely, it really threw me off. I think that hit me harder than I actually even thought that it did, because I take a lot of things in my stride. I'm like, it's okay. I'm stressed, but I'm all right. That type of thing. But I didn't realize it until I started seeing, wow, what am I doing to myself? Like not following what I'm supposed to do, not journaling, and not taking my time for myself and trying to breathe and all of that, but just going. And it's because you want to try and drown yourself in something else, and you don't, work through what you're supposed to work through. And then we got back on, and there's a turning point again. Yeah, so it's very nice to know that you get the tools. That's the thing. You get the tools, and you know what to do. You just have to make the decision.
So you move through physical shifts and changes. We know that there is so much in your mind and the mindset side of things. But tell me, the way that you've been explaining it, I mean, you've been on an emotional roller coaster, an absolutely emotional roller coaster. How did you manage those ups and downs? How did you manage the emotions as you were moving through this, every diagnosis that you've had? Like, what gave you the strength? What gave you the strength to get up in the morning and to move through your day?
I think, God plays a massive role to me. So, whatever spiritual being you tap into, God is a huge thing for me. I journaled a lot. I literally journaled a lot. I never used to journal so much, but I almost felt like once it was on paper, I could breathe, because it just, it's like a whirlwind in your head going over and over and over am I making the right decision? Why, I don't look the way I used to. I don't feel the way I used to. I've almost feel like I've I've aged 100 years, since a diagnosis, that type of thing. But taking charge and taking time out, because that's another thing that I'm is to take time out for me. My life's very busy and I love doing things for other people as well. So that's very difficult for me. But I had to learn that if I don't fill my cup, I can't help anyone else with their empty cup. My cup needs to be full at all times if that's what I want to do. And to do that, I had to make time to exercise. I had to make time to just sit and be, like my husband always says, Marlene, just be. And I used to go, be what? I need to do something. And I had to learn to just sit and be calm, go outside, be in nature, drink my water, just all the tools that I got given. It was a constant thing of, what? I feel so wired. I feel so wired. Oh, because I haven't breathed. I need to take a breath, just calm your mind, because you can't be in control of everything. You can try. And especially if your emotions, well, to me, and that's how I feel, because I am a bit of an OCD person as well. So if my emotions and my mind and my body, I can't control that, I want to control everything else, and I can't do that. And I had to learn that. I had to accept that this is where I'm at. I'm supposed to be here right now. I need to learn something from this part or chapter of my life and then apply it in the next chapter. I had to try and force myself, but it takes a conscious mind every morning to wake up and think, I'm going to have a good day. Some days it's like, I better have a good day. But most days you have to get up, and it's normal to have a bad day. It's normal to have those, and you have to embrace those as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're human beings. We're human beings.
Mm.
How I know you've mentioned the community support as well, and tuning in and obviously talking. And I know there's a few that are cheerleading you on here now at the moment. They've been part of your journey, and they've been part of it. Yes, yay. So first of all, like, what do you want to say to them? As they're turning up each week. They're supporting everybody. They're supporting each other. What would you say that, to the community that you were part of? Yeah.
I think it's almost like thank you is not enough, because I don't think any of you realize the impact that you make on me every week, and I know that everyone faces different challenges, but for me to tune in, and even if I feel like, oh, I can't do this week, like if I had such a bad day, the impact that you have on me is just, it's absolutely priceless, because I will leave the call and my husband will say, you look different, and it's like, you can't say thank you. You can't say, how do you say thank you to people who understand that, and I'm going to cry.
I'm getting emotional too, because I feel so much gratitude too.
I know. It's such a safe space. It's a safe space. And I don't think people realize until they're in this space, what you can achieve, and literally just by having other people there for you. That's it, and you can be there for them. And sometimes I left the calls thinking, oh my word, I felt so bad when I first started, onto this call. But Suraj actually inspired me today, or I actually managed to inspire Suraj, even though I felt so bad. I'm just using an example, that type of thing. So it's priceless. And I think once you tap into this, it's very hard to leave.
That's we're human beings, and just to be ourselves,
Yeah.
and to say, listen, it's tough. It's not easy when the whole world is covered in refined sugars, and my battle is trying to get away from it. It's not easy. It's really not easy. But oh my gosh, my body feels amazing without it. It feels amazing without it. But to have people there that truly do understand, I think, is priceless. It's absolutely priceless when we're on this health journey. So
No,
Yeah, so I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling it too. Marlene, would there be, like, if you reflect back over the last 5 years of your journey, would there be anything you would do differently or you would do at a different stage? Or, is there anything you would change?
I think I wish I knew all of this sooner. That I have to say. You know, there's Nikita always says to me, and it's something that it will also make me cry, that she's like, Mom, you know what? If you had to be healthier before, you may not be here without breasts, you know? Sorry.
No, that's a tough one. It's a tough one because it is hard. It is, like
It
I
is.
said,
And
it's a tough
if
journey.
I could just realize it earlier in my life, yes, it's part of our family, but gosh, Marlene, you really could have eaten better in your life. You know what I mean? Like you really could have given your body a better chance. And I think when she says that to me, then I'm like, I need to tell other people out there. And I think that's why I made that decision of speaking out about my journey, not holding it in, putting myself out there. That photo shoot, I don't know if everyone knows, I did a photo shoot that I did with my flat aesthetic closure out in the open for everyone to see. And I doubted doing that up to the point that I got out of the car. And I remember the photographer looking at me, catching a glimpse of my body, and she was like, "Oh, I need to have my checks done." And I was like, let's do this, okay? Because I just want people to, it doesn't matter when you catch this, just catch it and just deal with it. And don't end up like this. I didn't even have stage 4 cancer and I don't have breasts, So try and live a good, healthy life. Give your body a chance, a fighting chance, and, have your checks done and catch it early enough so that you can work through it. It's gonna be tough. It was tough as hell. It's some days it's still tough, but you can still get through it, and you can, make the decision to live your life better than you did before.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, anyway.
Yeah, and I think that's where my passion comes from as well. I am passionate about getting yourself healthy and feeling the energy in your body and feeling full of vitality and being able to live your best life. And it's because, you know what, this is our physical body. For me, it's a vehicle. It's a
Yeah.
vehicle for us to be able to experience and have adventures in this beautiful world that we live in. We can see things the way we want to see things, and we can experience things the way we want to experience things. But when we're lethargic, when we've got no energy, when we don't sleep properly, when we're carrying too much weight, when we have a cancer diagnosis, these things limit us. They
Yeah.
limit what we can do. They limit our experience to live life to the fullest. And so it's not easy. And I feel like we've got to have a community to do it. We've got to have a
Yeah.
community to do it in order to get us to the next step in our life, and that's why I love that you speaking out. I'm speaking out as much as possible. And Marlene and I sat and we thought we've got to try and help as many people as possible. We've really got to get the word out there that, you know what, if you've already had the diagnosis, we're here for you. If you haven't and you just want a healthy lifestyle, we're here for you. If you
Yeah.
feel like it's in your genes, or there's concerns, or there's a worry, or there's a fear in you, we're here for you. We want to be able to just support as many people as possible, and obviously specifically around the cancer journey because of Marlene's in-depth experience and journey that you've been on. So
Yeah, and try the next person that they, try and make their journey a little bit lighter. Even if there's just, a slight change and we can just be there all the way. Um, and try and avoid the absolute deep depressions and, holes that you fall into. If you can have control over that and you don't have to hit that bottom, yeah, I think your journey will be a lot easier, definitely.
yeah. There's some questions coming through and there's some comments. So thank you everybody for those beautiful comments as we were moving through the emotional side. We really appreciate that. But yeah, there's a comment here. Marlene, have you thought of becoming a counselor? So I think Marlene's going to go beyond that. She's going to become a coach.
Yes, I am going to become a coach. So that's why I decided to collaborate with Kerry. You know, I think there's a massive community out there that needs help. I know from my experience here in the Lowveld, I know that there's a community in White River, for instance, of ladies who's had mastectomies. They don't even want to leave the house because they don't feel confident. They don't feel. I'm now chatting to a brand new lady who's going to go for double mastectomy on Thursday. I'm seeing her tomorrow. You know, and just try and be there and guide, and you know, she mustn't feel alone. I don't think anyone needs to feel alone. And your family, as much as they're there, and they want to do everything for you, and they want to fix you, and they can't. And I almost feel like it's easier for me to talk to other people because I don't want to put any other stress on them. You know, I don't want to add additional stress to them. So it's easier for me to be in a community where, yes, I'm having a bad day. Okay, someone's going to inspire me. That they don't feel like they have to do it all the time, because your caregivers go through a hell of a time as well, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, please ask questions if you can pop it in the chat. But I'm just going to ask one more question to Marlene. I want Marlene, if you're able to, speak about the cancer positions that you've held. So yeah, in the different associations, are you able to share the different
So I have years ago, I think about 11 years ago, kids is turning 17, so no, about 10 years ago, I was a community mobilizer at the Cancer Association. So I worked in Durban, fundraising, also doing a bit of counseling. You know, when you work for cancer, you sort of do anything and everything. Whatever they give you, that's what you're going to do. It is an NGO, so limited staff most of the time. And then I was asked to be a global hero of hope for cancer. So I've been a global hero of hope since 2022. And then Elsie, I think she's on the call. She approached me the other day and asked if I would chair the support group for the Lowveld. So we're going to put a whole new cancer support group together, you know, and just reach out to people. I'm actually meeting up with Elsie and the committee next week, so we can start getting the ball rolling. Because we did have a survivor what was it, like a high tea the other day, and you could see, like she said, you know, you could feel that people need that. They need that get together. They need to be with each other, and they need to share their stories. So yeah, we're going to start focusing on that.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So Miriam, should we unmute you? Yeah. There we go. Oh, sorry, just unmute again. There we go. Get to ask your question.
Yeah, actually, I'm asking both of you. It's my first time, and I'm calling from Denmark, or I'm just talking from Denmark. I have no idea when you say you can help us, you want to help us, how? And you're talking about the program. Which program are you talking about?
Oh, Miriam, that's so awesome you asked those questions. Thank you so much for asking those questions, because I'm going to share my screen. Marlene and I have put the most incredible program together. We're actually only launching it in June. So this is really, you know, a little bit of an early, but what we are looking for is we're looking for some founding members to be part of this program. And you know, obviously the founding members to go through this with us. So yay, I'm going to share my screen, Miriam, and be able to show you what we've put together, because we are extremely excited about it. Sorry, let me just see here. I just want to make sure. Oh, there we go. Christina just hopped off and hopped back on again. Just want to make sure everybody's on the call. Okay, so here it is. It is how to thrive with vitality and power, and it's Thrive with Vitality is the program that we've put together. And if you're interested, we're really happy to send this to everybody, just so that you know. It's basically, you know, a monthly subscription, so that you've got the support on a weekly basis. It'll be weekly calls with a monthly subscription, and we'll be going through absolutely everything. So this just, you know, tells us who Marlene is, and I won't read all of this. I think I'll just get to the program, because we've been going through a lot of this in the, you know, in what we've been discussing. But yeah, there's Marlene's photo shoot, which is so awesome. Absolutely amazing, amazing. The courage, the bravery, you know, and for her to be absolutely thriving with her family. So yeah, it's just so awesome, absolutely awesome. So this is the program. It's really about thrive with an energetic body. So so what we'll do in those 3 months, it's an annual program, but we've split it up into 3 months, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So with these 3 months, we're dedicating to supporting and getting your body back into balance. We're going to support you to reset your factory settings, calm the body down when systems have been overworking and overactive. You will get to enhance the systems that have been underworking and underactive. And when the body's in balance, it heals itself, because that's how we were made. You know, our bodies were made to heal. Every day we're healing. We've just got to create a really good environment to do that. So the topics that we will be covering here is food energy. So, you know, let food be their medicine, the digestive system, of how the food actually gets absorbed, what interferes, leaky gut syndrome and gut microbiome, cellular cleansing and healing, liver and gallbladder detoxing, and living food into a living body to live longer. So our bodies are healing daily, and we're just trying to create a right environment to allow this to happen. And we'll get to implement foods that fight off pathogens in our system and make us stronger. And we'll teach and support and coach you to maximize your healing, regain your energy, and allow for every cell to function at its full potential. So whilst in those 3 months, we will be coaching you through that. You'll also be implementing a 12-week nutritional program alongside this. And this original program is the Eric Edmonds program. So we'll be putting people on the WildFit program whilst we're going through and supporting them with the different weekly calls, so that you have, you know, really a lot of breakthroughs. That's what we're putting into. We're making sure that we have a lot of breakthroughs. So that's the first 3 months, because we feel the physical body is obviously super, super important to get that right. Then you got to move into the mindset, because, you know, as Marlene has explained, your mindset is absolutely a massive part of the journey. So you'll be discovering just how powerful the mind really is. The mind is responsible for over 70,000 thoughts per day, and most of these we're totally unconscious. It plays a huge part in how we think about ourselves, our body, and our life. And you will learn about the brain and how it's connected to the gut. And when the gut is clean, our intuition and our gut feel is super strong and trustworthy. And when we tune into our internal guidance, we always are within our flow. And life is good, and life really does work out for us. But we've got to have that mental capacity to be able to do that. So we're going to go step by step and allow you to understand the function of our thoughts, connect them to our intentions of being healthy, and allow our flow to naturally release thought patterns that don't serve us and move into our new healthy body. So we're going to talk through, you know, and the negative self-talk versus the positive self-talk, limiting beliefs versus thriving beliefs, subconscious thought patterns, self-sabotaging patterns, benefits of visualization, and then activations and tools of a thriving mindset. And here we're going to be implementing clarity around the wellness wheel and how to ensure that our wheel is balanced by our thoughts. So that will be the following 3 months. And then we move into our feelings, our emotions. So this is the next 3 months. Our heart is our feeling organ, and it also has a magnetic vibe to it. It has a magnetic frequency on it. So what we feel is what we attract. We will be learning how to balance our emotions and attract only good things into our life. You will receive tools to implement daily or weekly, because this is up to you. It's up to how much you want to put into it as well. But we will be going through breathing and oxygen, delicious water, dirty blood syndrome. So how do we clean out the blood to actually feel that heart organ of ours really, really with our most balanced emotions? We'll be going through organs that store emotions and how to release those, visualizations to heal emotions, and releasing toxic feelings and thoughts. So we'll be experiencing a very deep cellular cleanse during this time to ensure that there is clarity around every cell, every tissue, every organ in our body. The healing of our physical will continue while we heal the emotions and release old stuck emotions from deep within our organs. So you'll discover tools to release old traumas without collapsing emotionally, but rather standing in your power and strength. And this is what I feel. I mean, Marlene had such power and bravery to do that photo shoot. And she was able to stand in those very clear emotions, even though there was a little niggle in her saying, should I do this? Should I do this? But how amazing that she embraced this power and really stood and was able to go through with it. And then for me, this is hugely important as well, is thrive with an energetic soul. And this is time that you regain your faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in the universe, faith in nature, faith in your natural body, and the supportive structures that life has offered, that we've sometimes ignored them. But without deep faith, we cannot truly fully heal. Without deep trust in yourself, you cannot fully live your life to the fullest. And I find that, you know, Marlene, I've dealt with you, but obviously I've dealt with a lot of cancer patients as well. They lose their faith. They lose their faith. You lose faith in your body. You lose faith in God. You lose faith that, you know, why is this all happening to me? You know, why is this what I'm moving through? So connecting you to your higher self, trusting in yourself, having the faith, knowing the impact that nature can actually give you, forgiveness and self-love, and feeling the joy daily. You'll discover tools to tap into your deepest love and joy and live from a place of peace, love, and calm. It's time for you to take full control over your health, your life, and your future. There will be a massive support that you will have daily cheerleaders, not just weekly, but you can tap in and have it daily. We're here for you every step of the way. And if you can dream it, you can live it. So we'll give you information that you can get to experience and tools that you get to experience this new healthy body, and it will be sustainable for years. So this is obviously a little bit about myself and Marlene, and then this will be a QR code for you to register to actually have that. But yeah, this is our Thrive with Vitality program that we're going to be supporting people. And, you know, you can come and go as you want, you know, through the months, depending on what you're moving through. But I think what we are very, very excited about is that this is going to be on an app. So it is going to be on an app. Yes, we'll be doing weekly calls, but you'll be able to tune into the community. The community is also going to be on the app, and you're going to be able to tune into the coaching calls if you want, or just the program, because the whole program, all the videos will be on the app, or the support will be there on a daily basis for you. So yeah, so people anywhere in the world. So Miriam, you've been in Denmark, just, you know, it really fills my soul, because I can see Dorothy is from Florida, Deirdre, she's in Maritzburg in South Africa, Gail is in New Zealand, Debbie here is in Israel, Christina's in Florida, Suraj is in Durban, Kim is in California. So already we have a worldwide community just on this call. Elsie's obviously in the Lowveld. So it's just beautiful that we have everybody from all over, but we're going to be able to tap in and really help and support. And that's the program that we would like. And it's really based on, you know, Marlene's journey alongside what I've been able to help her through. And we've packaged this up to go, right, we can seriously make an impact. So Marlene, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yeah, no, very, very excited about that. I'm like, yeah, everything is just flowing into place. And I think it's part of this year, Kerry, this year of abundance. I think that's what it is. And I think once you've made the decision to make the change for you, that's when everything happens, because it's like, you know what you want to do, and you know that you can enhance your quality of life, even though you've had a cancer diagnosis or not, or you.
It's 21 hours.
I'm so sorry. There goes my Mac. I wanted to mute it before it actually says. It always tells us the time. So yeah, I think if you've made the decision, you can just thrive from there. I don't think we should be called survivors. I really don't. I think we have to thrive. You know, you get a second leash on life, and you sort of you in that mode of, am I gonna die? Because that's how we feel. You get diagnosed. I think anyone that gets a terrible diagnosis feels like that. You know, how's my body going to respond, etc. But once you realize that with simple changes and with people surrounding you that loves you and that can actually just support you through your bad days, you can really, really change your life around.
Yeah. And it really is, you know, it's doable. It's doable. So Marlene, just because I know this is not about a weight thing. This is about a healing thing.
Yeah.
But exactly, you know, how much weight were you able to release, and in what time frame, and how have you managed to make that sustainable?
So I am initially in the 13-week program. I think I lost 11 kilos, if I remember correctly. It took a while. So in the beginning, and now I'm back on it. So I've been, for the last 2 months now, I've been fine. I haven't touched the scale. I don't want to even look at the scale because I know my story. I lose centimeters first. I can feel the change. I can see it. But boy, the scale's like, hello, no, you know, I don't want to know about that. But in a year's time, I shifted 33 kilograms. And then I kept it off for, what was it, 2-3 years. Then I had my surgery with going flat, and that emotional turmoil, along with everything else, just literally pushed me over the edge. And I've now, since I got back on it, and it's now 2 months, it's not even 2 months yet that I'm completely back on, you know, the proper program. I've already lost 6.5. So, you know, it's going, and I can feel it. I can feel it without just the weight. I can feel my skin. I can feel my sleeping. You know, it's like all of a sudden my body's just going, oh, yay, we're back there. You know, it loves that.
Awesome. I love Gail.
Wonderful.
Survivors to thrivers. I love that, Gail. Survivors to thrivers. That should actually be the name of the program. Survivors to thrivers. But we wanted people that, you know, feel like they're not even surviving, and like, how do we help them, you know? But I love that. And yeah, thrivers. We are thrivers. Marlene, you're a thriver. And anybody that has gone through any sort of health issues, you know, or, you know, where they've really, really felt like, you know, can they do this? Can they really, really do this? I think that's exactly it. It is possible, and it is possible with support, because I think it's so hard to do this on our own. It's really, really hard to do this on our own. But to have a community around you, it makes it so much easier, and so you can do it. You can do it. So yeah, Marlene, any other questions, by the way? Anybody have any other questions? We're happy to answer questions. But Marlene, any final words, you know, that you want to share?
Yeah, I just think I want to say thank you, first of all, for being here. You know, because I think that's a massive thing, is to commit and show up. Because it's easy to say, I'm going to do this, and then I'm not going to be there. And life happens. I mean, there were calls that I wasn't there either, you know. But then it's important for me to remind myself that I need to be there next week. I have to do this, you know. It's like almost like I'm letting the community down. Whether they want me there or not, I need to be there. That type of thing. So I think if you just commit and put yourself first, you are literally going to make a massive shift in your life for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So thank you, everybody for being here. It's really does. I know there's messages coming through all the time. Cool. It's so lovely that everybody is all over. Wendy, I didn't see you on your picture, so but Wendy's in Wartburg, and yeah, there's so many other people here that I don't know where they are, but it's so awesome to see everybody from all over the world. Harburg, sorry, Harburg, you're hiding in Harburg. So thank you everybody from for tuning in and being here, and please, if you know somebody that really feels like they are struggling, they feel lost with this diagnosis, they don't know which way to turn, they don't know what their next step is, we're here for them. How can we help? Cool. So thank you everybody for being here, and I'm really happy to send a recording off to people that want the recording. Just reach out to us, and we'll send the recording off to everybody. Thank you. Cool. Awesome.
Good luck in your program.